Hello and welcome to Chapter 4, Section 7. This is dimensional analysis. Now, this is the part that people think is hard. So, I need you to strap in, put your seatbelt on. I also need you to understand that it's not really hard. It's a lot to keep track of. And hopefully because you have the notes, you're going to be able to rewind and really get it before you move on. And you will end up thinking that it's as easy as I think it is. So, let's go. Now, dimensional analysis is lots of conversions. So now that we've done the section on standard units of measure and the section on metric units of measure, you should be really comfortable working with both of them. So now we can jump right into changing them, okay? Now, let's say that you have a super jet that goes 10,000 miles an hour. Let's say it's a rocket ship, because I'm pretty sure jets don't go that fast. But let's say, so what do I do if I want to know how many miles a minute that is? Well, with fractions, the cool thing about fractions is that I can multiply anything by 1. And that 1 can be a lot of different things. I know that if my denominator is an hour and my numerator is an hour, then that's a number over a number, and they're the same thing, and so that equals 1, right? But I don't have to have them both exactly say an hour. What if I multiplied it and I said 1 hour on top and I said 60 minutes on the bottom? Now, do you see how these are the same thing, and when you put one number over the same number, it equals 1? So I'm not changing anything here. Now, the cool thing about multiplying fractions is that I can cross-cancel. So I now can get rid of hour. And look what I've got. I've got 10,000 miles times 1. I've got 60 minutes times 1. This equals 10,000 miles over 60 minutes. And now, if I do the math, how many times does 60 go into 10,000? Well, I could go 166.67 miles per minute, 1 minute. All I do, I have to find this guy. The question will tell you how to figure this out. The question will say, you have a rocket ship that goes 10,000 miles an hour. And so you set this up. And it says, how many miles a minute is that? And you set this up. Oh, look, I have to change hours to minutes. And this doesn't have to change. So I only have to change one thing that takes one fraction. And I can change hours to minutes just fine. What if it says, now, how many miles per second is that? Well, okay, let's see. I got 166.67 miles in 1 minute, and I want to change that to miles per second. Well, how many seconds are in a minute? Because that's what I have to change. There are 60 seconds in a minute, and I need to make that fraction. Now, do I put the minutes on top or the minutes on bottom? I want the minutes to cross-cancel. So I want to put the minute on the top, and I want to put the 60 seconds on the bottom. Because now the minutes cross-cancel, and once again, I have 166.67 divided by 60, and that gives me miles per second. And when I multiply those together, I'm dividing them. So I get 2.78 miles per second. Well, 2.78 miles per second. What if I wanted to change that to feet per second? Now notice, my second is going to stay the same. I want to go from miles per second to feet per second. So I'm going to change this one. Well, how many feet are in a mile? 5,280. And if you don't have that memorized, put that one on your list. So 1 mile and 5,280 feet are the same number. Which one goes on top? Well, Mile, I want to get rid of mile, so mile has to go on the bottom. So I'm going to put 1 mile on the bottom, and I'm going to put 5,280 feet on the top. Now check it out. These two cross cancel, and I still have in 1 second. I still have per second, but now I've got these two on the top. So I have to multiply them. When one's on the top and one's on the bottom, I divide. When one's on the top and the other's on the top, or one's on the bottom and one's... Then, when you go straight across, you multiply. Just like fractions, okay? So we're pulling in all our fraction skills. So now we have to do 5,280 times 2.78, and that gives us 14,678.4 feet per second. How crazy is that? Now, people think this is hard because there's a lot of steps. If you want to change miles to hour to miles per minute, you change hours to minutes. And that's all. You just take it one step at a time. So, it can be a lot of steps. But don't let it get you, because it's all just simple conversions. And if you set it up right, it'll tell you what to do. Okay? The average person drinks 22 gallons of milk per year. How many quarts is that per month? So, we're changing 2 things, because we had gallons per year, and now we want quarts per month. So what I do is I say gallons per year on one side and quarts per month on the other side. And I've got to have 2 things to change, gallons to quarts and year to month. So I need 2 things to change. Which one am I going to pick first? Doesn't matter, okay? Let's change gallons to quarts. Well, there's 2 cups in a pint, and 2 pints in a quart, and 4 quarts in a gallon. Memorize that too. 2 cups in 1 pint, 2 pints in 1 quart, 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So, there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So if I'm going to change gallons to quarts, I'm going to multiply this. I want gallons on the bottom. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Now, my quarts are there. I'm done. I want to change year to month. Well, how many months are in a year? Well, there's 12 months in a year. Do I put my year on bottom or year? Well, I have my year on bottom, so I need my year on top. 1 year is 12 months. Now, what are my original numbers? 22 gallons of milk per year, 1 year. So now, if I multiply straight across, my gallons go away. My years go away, they cross cancel. All I have left is quarts per month. So I did this part right. So I end up with 22 times 4 times 1, that's 88 quarts in 1 times 1 times 12. 88 quarts in 12 months. So now I have to do the math, and I have to find per month. So I need this to be 1. So I'm going to do, so we're going to round it off to 7.3. That is 7.3 quarts per month. So here we did 2 conversions. It's not so bad. It's really just, can you take this and move it to that? Can you take this and move it to that? And each time you have to convert something, you need a 1/1. Okay? All right, the next thing they would ask you, 1 mile is about 1.6 kilometers. So what that means is, you know that to get your 1/1, that's going to be 1 mile over 1.6 kilometers. This is 1. And it's also going to mean 1.6 kilometers over 1 mile. Doesn't matter which way you flip it, because they're the same thing, that's 1. So, the question that they ask is, what is the length in miles of a 10-kilometer race? They want it in miles. Well, I have 10 kilometers in a race, and I want to change it to miles. Now, there's nothing per anything here. So it's 10 kilometers per what? Race? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because this could be how many miles per the race. It doesn't matter. If there's nothing that's per, you don't have to worry about it. You know that it goes on top. Okay? So, 10 kilometers in your race, and you want to use your 1 over 1 to help you out. So do you want your kilometers on the bottom or you want them on the top? Well, I want them on the bottom because they're already on the top. So I'm going to multiply. I want my 1.6 kilometers equals 1 mile. And now I've got miles at the end. So if I multiply this out, I have 10 divided by 1.6. 10 divided by 1.6. I'm going to move that over. I'm going to move that over. I've got a 0. I've got a 16 goes into 100 about 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. 6, 7, 8, 9, 56, 4. Bring down that. 16 goes into 40. 2 times, that's 32 with an 8 left over. 16 goes into 80, 5 times. So that's, what is the length in miles of a 10-kilometer race? It is 6.25 miles. Okay? This shows you how to set it up. If it doesn't say per anything, it just goes, really, it goes over 1. And that's over 1. So here, 6.25 miles over 1, which is 6.25 miles. So you're all set. All right. Your turn. You're going to draw a cloud around this. An airliner travels 694 meters per second. Find this in kilometers per second. So when you set it up, don't set it up so your fraction looks like this. Set it up so that it's over 1 second. Over 1 second, okay? And then number 2, Al's car uses 12 gallons of gas each week. Find this in quarts per year. How many weeks are in a year? 52. I don't know. You should look that up. So do these two and push pause and come back when you're done. All right. 694 meters over 1 sec, and I want it to be in kilometers per sec. So, how many meters are in a kilometer? There are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. I want my meters on the bottom. There are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. These cancel out, and now I've got exactly the way I need them. So I've got 694 over 1,000. Now, I want this to be 1. I am going to divide this by 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. So this is 0.694 kilometers per 1 second. That's fast. All right. Al's car uses 12 gallons of gas in 1 week. I want quarts per year. All right, I got to get from gallons to quarts. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. And I need gallons on the bottom. 1 gallon, 4 quarts. Now my gallons cross cancel. Now I got to get from weeks to years. There are 52 weeks in a year. My weeks are on bottom, so I need these weeks on top. 52 weeks in 1 year. So now my weeks cancel out, and all I've got left goes straight to here. So what do? I go 12 times 4 times 52. 1 times 1 times 1. Sweet. This is already done. I don't have to divide at the end. All I've got to do is figure out what 12 times 4 times 52 is. All right, so your practice tonight. An Olympic athlete can run 110 yards in 10 seconds. How fast is that in miles per hour? So you need to change yards to miles. There are 3 feet in a yard, 5,280 feet in a mile, divided by 3. 1 lap around the speedway is 4.3 kilometers. Sally can drive it in 2 minutes. So she can drive 4.3 kilometers in 2 minutes. How fast is that in kilometers per hour? Okay? And again, hazard signs. Put a cloud around your turn and say, put stars by the stuff you're good at. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care.